Jean-Claude Van Damme's career ended immediately after this happened, and for millions of fans who grew up watching him dominate the big screen, it was one of the most shocking downfalls in Hollywood history. Known to the world as the Muscles from Brussels, Van Damme wasn't just another action star, he was a global phenomenon. With his extraordinary martial arts skills, his signature high kicks, and his undeniable charisma, he rose to the very top of Hollywood during the late 1980s and 1990s. Movies like Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Universal Soldier, Double Impact, and Time Cop turned him into a legend of action cinema, competing directly with the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. At one point, it seemed like nothing could stop Jean-Claude Van Damme. But then came the moment that changed everything, a single turning point that destroyed his momentum and sent his career crashing down almost overnight. At the height of his fame, Van Damme was commanding salaries of up to $8 million per film. He was everywhere, on posters, in magazines, on late-night shows, and audiences couldn't get enough of him. But behind the scenes, a different story was unfolding. Van Damme had become consumed by the pressures of stardom, and reports of erratic behavior, inflated ego, and substance abuse began to spread throughout Hollywood. The crucial moment that many point to as the end of his career came when he walked away from massive studio projects, demanding even higher paychecks and complete creative control. Studios that had once built entire movies around him suddenly turned their backs. In an industry as competitive as Hollywood, that kind of move can be career suicide, and for Van Damme, it was exactly that. Almost overnight, the man who had been one of the highest-paid stars in the world was being pushed into low-budget, straight-to-video films. The decline was brutal and immediate. Audiences who were used to seeing Van Damme on the big screen suddenly found his films relegated to bargain bins, and critics who once praised his star power now dismissed him as a fading act. To make matters worse, his personal life was unraveling at the same time. Multiple divorces, public scandals, and his admission of a serious addiction problem only fueled the perception that Van Damme was out of control. What had once been seen as confidence and intensity now looked like arrogance and instability. For fans, it was heartbreaking to watch. The man who had once seemed unstoppable, the underdog who fought his way to the top of Hollywood, was suddenly losing everything in front of their eyes. Van Damme himself later admitted that during this period, he made terrible choices that cost him his career. He confessed that he turned down projects that could have kept him in the spotlight, and that his battle with addiction clouded his judgment and damaged his relationships in the industry. He even reached a point where depression and mental health struggles nearly consumed him entirely. That was the tragic reality behind the headlines. The man who looked like a superhero on screen was quietly crumbling in real life. Though Van Damme has attempted comebacks over the years, with projects like JCVD, which earned critical acclaim for its honesty, and appearances in films like The Expendables 2, the truth is that his career has never recovered to its former glory. That single devastating turning point, when Hollywood shut its doors on him after his demands and destructive behavior, remains the moment fans mark as the true end of his career as a leading man. The tragedy of Jean-Claude Van Damme's story is not just that his career ended so abruptly, but that he had all the talent and star power to continue at the top for decades. His fall from grace was not caused by a lack of ability, but by one pivotal moment of miscalculation that triggered a chain reaction he could never fully reverse. For fans, it's a painful reminder of how quickly fame can vanish, and how even the strongest on screen can be the most fragile off it. Jean-Claude Van Damme's career ended immediately after that fateful decision, and the heartbreak of his downfall will always be remembered as one of Hollywood's most tragic stories.